You also talk about the step process. We need to implement this in a step process, I think you referred to it. Can you elaborate a little bit more on that by what you mean implementing now the voice of the patient more, embedding them into the trial and into the upfront part and in your step process?
I think it only can be a stepwise process because also, let's say, the oncology community had to learn a lot over many years how to run trials, how to design them adequately. And if somebody new now joins that established system, these newcomers have to learn the process, have to get all the background, have to be also willing, of course, to deal with many things which are not always easy to understand in order to be an informed representative of patients. I'm sure that's possible, but this certainly also will depend on the willingness of the patient side, but it will need some time also to get that learned and to absorb it.
Mm-hmm. So by doing this, by bringing the patient in up front, there's benefits for everyone, I would imagine. There's benefits for the industry, for the companies, because they, I would imagine, can recruit easier into a trial if it's focused on and developed alongside of a patient group. There's benefits to the patient, obviously, because they might stay in the trial longer. And as you point out, every patient has a different goal, whether it be I want to live longer or whether I'm not concerned about length, I'm concerned more about quality of life during whatever time I have left. And so it seems to me, are there other benefits that you recognize by bringing that patient into the development of the trial?
I would say you mentioned the most important ones. I think it needs always an update, also depending on what's already reached in comparison to what might be reached and what might be attractive for patients for the future. And there is a permanent process, which is a process of permanent adaptation into my eyes. But nevertheless, it's a stepwise process, I would say, and nobody can, let's say, start from scratch to 100%. I don't say that the patient representation is at scratch. It's somewhere in between, but it could increase and it could be even more implemented. On the other side, of course, it's also necessary to find how to express this, to find the right point on that pendulating process from the two possible extremes. It should not be that patient advocates are advocating running or taking already drugs which are not tested enough, just because they feel not enough treated with what's available. So we have to take care for a certain level of security on the one side, but it's more a fine-tuning what level of risk one or the society is willing to take. And here I would say the voice of the patients should be more heard and more implemented than it has been probably in the past.
It's obvious that the two main stakeholders are the company wanting to bring the new innovative therapies to the market, bring those, get them developed, get them tested, make sure that they're safe, make sure that we can administer them properly, and the patient. Are there any other stakeholders in this equation that we need to be considering?
There are important stakeholders in between. The main one, the regulators, the regulatory authorities, which have to examine results or intermediate results of clinical studies and have to come to a conclusion whether, into their eyes, either reasonable goals have been reached or not reached yet, whether the risk is one can accept. And this risk-effect balance should be in a let's say, balanced way.
Well, Doctor, I appreciate you stopping by and sitting down with us, and enjoy the rest of the conference.
Thanks for the invitation. My pleasure.